What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be covering all of the new weapon changes to patch 1.2 and kind of just cover everything that didn't really affect the meta whatsoever. So right as soon as this clip is over, we'll jump right into the K30. We're going to start with the K30 and the BSV, since those are the two highlighted items most people are excited about. Really, all I'm going to show here at the K30 is that the range, it's still effective outside of the SMG range into the AR range. That's really all I want to cover here. Up close, the TTK doesn't change. It was like 0.4 milliseconds. There's no difference. So again, increasing the bullet to kill by 1 extra round doesn't change anything with this gun. Moving on to the BSV here. It has a 3 bullet to kill at 75 meters, not 50, like they told us in the update that we saw from the patch notes. So looking here, you can kind of notice that single firing, switching to full auto. Apparently on full auto, there's a 15% penalty as a dispersion. However, I really didn't notice that. Only somewhat once you get past that 75 meter range. Outside of that, if you're within the normal AR gunfight range, your recoil dispersion is almost non-existent. And then just kind of showing here with the range differences where the 3 bullet to kill and 4 bullet to kill start and end. So yes, the range was cut in half, so you're not getting 3-shotted across the map now at 150 meters. But the recoil's still an issue. The full auto's still an issue. Get rid of the full auto on the high power rounds. That's really the fix, okay? Here are the MP9 and the M5. Those are the next two here. The MP9 and the M5 both got a nerf at the 10-meter range to do 22 damage instead of 28 like you just saw. The reason for that is so people can't get 2-tapped in the head with close combat rounds. That was, I think, the big problem, was people are just getting 2-tapped. You know, guys were like jump strafing, getting lucky and landing those headshots. So I think that just kind of helps with the TTK up close. Other than that, the gun itself is fine. There's nothing wrong with the time to kill outside of that. Nothing changed. The MP9 and the M5 are both still viable close combat rounds. As you can see here with the MP9, I'm backing up to about the AR range, and it is still just as effective as before. Moving on to the M5 here. M5, same thing. Close combat rounds, 22 damage. Pretty much the exact same thing that I said with the MP9. And then as I kind of do a little bit of spray control here and whatnot, move back into the more of the AR round range area, about 30 to 50 meters or so. You can kind of see here that, you know, the close combat is still good, and then switching to the standard rounds, you can notice the damage difference is, you know, it's 18 to 22 damage. Drops down to 18 at the lowest, whereas the close combat drops down to 13. So you're talking about a 2 bullet to kill difference. However, the recoil spray there, the close combat rounds have a tighter spread than the standards, which is totally ass backwards, but close combat rounds are still viable. Didn't change the meta. Okay, moving on to the Bison. This was interesting when I did this. So the Bison standard rounds do 28 damage out to 19 meters. And I tested that, and you'll see that here. So, and then when we move on to the PBX, you'll notice why that's interesting to me. But, so, Bison will still 2-shot you out to 19 meters at the standard rounds. 65 round mag, very viable. This gun has been in the meta since the start of the game. It's still a very hot topic pick here. Still well within the viable choices out of what's kind of coming down, you know, even still with the BSV being broken. So, here with the PBX though, it does 28 damage out to 9 meters. So it'll 2-tap you within 9 meters. So my question to the devs really is, why does the PBX have half the lethal range as the Bison when they run these same rounds? If you notice in the clip here, I'm using the standard extended rounds. I'm not using close combat. Both SMGs were using standard rounds, and it is doubled for the PBX. Don't know why. Not really sure if they meant to keep the PBX as more of a CQC weapon over the Bison, which is a pocket AR. No idea, but moving on to the 12M here, where you can kind of see just testing the hip fire here. It'll still pretty much land center dot. I mean, it's really hard to see these targets this far out, so I really don't expect most people to do this. But in the game, you can see out to 160, 70 meters here in the range. You're still able to 2-tap. There's no damage drop off. It's 60 damage still to the body. And you land those headshots, it's going to instantly down the person. So still 100, 100 damage to the head at this range. Not sure. Dice, please. And then really quick, There wasn't a silent nerf on the SWS. Test that real quick. Still, snipers do 110 out to 19 meters. If anybody wants to have fun with the quickscope build, I'll drop it in the comments. But other than that, guys, that's all I have for you. Catch you in the next video. See ya!